All right, today we are going to deal with area of a circle. I am going to be using this sheet. Feel free to either write it on here or you can write it in your books, whichever you prefer. Okay, so on the first one, we are finding the area of this circle. We are given a diameter of 28 inches. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to write the formula for area, which is A equals pi r squared. When we did circumference, we were going around the exterior, but area is going on the interior. It's coloring it all in. So area is going to take up all the inside space. It's like covering it with a rug, putting flooring down, okay? So we are going the inside this time, okay? So on this one, since we're given the diameter equals 28 inches, you should be able to come up with the radius because it's half of that, and that is 14 inches. Okay, so we're going to be using this. So we come over to our formula. We're going to keep the pi for the moment, and we're going to take 14, but we're going to square it. Okay, so when you do that, some of you have a button on your calculator that has the square, which on mine is right there, see? So if you have one of those, I'm going to type in 14, and then I'm going to hit the square button, and it gives me 196. You can get the same thing by, let me flip mine back over, just taking 14 times 14. So it's still 196. So 196 pi. So now we're going to take that 196 times 3.14, it still hasn't changed, and our answer is the 615.44 inches squared. Okay, and that's all you do. Now, on the next problem, this one is a semicircle, which means we really only have half of the circle. So what we're going to do then for our semicircle is it is still pi r squared. That is area of the circle, but we have to cut it in half. So we need to either divide by 2 or multiply by 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here for a moment. Our diameter is this piece, so our diameter equals 18 inches, which means my radius, we're going to cut that in half, is 9 inches. Okay, we're going to go ahead and find area equals pi r squared. So we have pi, and now we are going to take 9 and square it. All right, when we do that, 9 times 9 is, yes, 81 pi. Okay, now I've got to remember though, let me write this in a different color, we're going to multiply this by a half, or cut your numbers in half because we are only having half of the circle. Okay, so I'm going to take 81 times 3.14, and I can just keep going, times a half, but I know a half is 0.5. And I'm going to come up with 127.17, and that is inches squared. Okay, so we have to be careful because it is a semicircle, we are cutting our answer in half. Okay, it doesn't change the fact that the radius is squared. It cuts the answer in half. Alrighty. Now, sometimes you can be given word problems. How are we going to go about solving these? So for instance, an FM radio station signal travels in a 40-mile radius. Okay, so when we are dealing with an FM station, his radius is 40 miles. Okay, so the sound emits 40 miles. okay? It doesn't mean it's 40 miles this way, it just means 40 miles as our radius, okay? So total across would be 80 miles, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take area equals pi r squared. We're gonna leave the pi, we're gonna take 40 and we're gonna square that, okay? I know 4 squared, 4 times 4 is 16, and then this will actually give me 2 more zeros. Okay, you can punch it in if you don't believe me. And now we're gonna take that 1600 times 3.14, and that gives us 5,024. Okay, that was part 1. That was the FM radio station. But now an AM radio station, signal travels in a 4-mile radius. Doesn't go very far, does it? So what we're going to do is, again, we're going to find the area. So pi r squared. We know our radius is 4. So 4 squared is 16, so 16 pi. Now, I can see it looks like it should be the same kind of numbers, just we're missing the 2 zeros. So let's try it. 16 times 3.14, and we get the exact same numbers, except our number is 2 spots smaller, okay? The decimal has moved 2 times. So this is 50.24, okay? Now, how much more area does the FM station cover than the AM station? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna subtract these two to get how much more the FM carries. So we're gonna take 5,024 minus 50.24, and this is how much the difference is, 4,973.76, and these are miles squared. So 4,973 and 76 hundredths. Okay. So there is a huge difference between FM and AM and how far they can reach.